This is episode 57 of the Rise Up podcast. We're a morning radio show hosted by Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life, a network of stations across New York and Pennsylvania. Our podcast is a weekly conversation that will help you think and grow in your faith. If you haven't already, subscribe today so you don't miss a single episode, and find out more about our show at familylife.org.
Today is the day the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
Let's say you had an unlimited budget, all the time in the world off. You could travel anywhere in the world. Where would you go and why?
Well, I gave this a lot of thought, and this kept on coming back to my mind. And I'm not saying this, seriously, I'm not saying this because I know neither one of you would be there. I'm not doing it for that reason whatsoever. But
I want to get away from you.
No, that's not the reason. But I know for sure once I came upon this, and it kept coming back to me, that I know that Terese wouldn't be there because she doesn't like this, and Tim wouldn't be there because he generally doesn't like those. And I'm talking about, I would love to take, I don't know, a month or so, month and a half, and travel the United States via train. That's a good part.
Yes,
you would like that.
Yes.
But go to different baseball stadiums that I haven't been to yet and watch baseball. Now, Terese doesn't like baseball. Tim doesn't generally like sports.
But I do like the hot dogs.
Right. Well, I'll bring you back a hot dog. But I've been to a lot of I've thought about that and talked to friends about it for a long time. That and the reason I said train is because I've never taken a long trip on a train. We see the United States many times as we travel via the air. Sometimes on long, long car rides, those kind of things. But sometimes, at least for me as a car, I'm driving, so I don't get a chance to actually enjoy the countryside. But the United States is such a beautiful country, and you see so many different things. If you're on a train, you get a chance to enjoy those views.
I love it. You know, I might actually run into you on your travels, Steve, because if I could go anywhere, and this is one of those bucket list things, I would like to visit all 50 states. Now, I have the big kahuna already off the list because we went to Hawaii. And what a blessing. And the reason that I would like to see all 50 states is inspired by Hawaii. When I was in Hawaii, I had an incredible moment of awe where I just looked at what God had made and I was like, and this is still in the United States. This is incredible, the creativity of the Lord. And then my family got to travel to Nevada this past year, and I was in awe again as I saw some of the rock structures in Valley of Fire. I've been to California to see the Pacific Ocean. I've pretty much been along the entire eastern seaboard, but there are so many places in between that I've never been able to experience. And I'm pretty convinced that there is so much diversity and so much of God's unique creation that I wouldn't even need to break out my passport to be in awe of what God has made. And so I don't know, maybe it'll be a retirement project for me because, now that Hawaii's off the list, I could pretty much drive everywhere. It'd be a long hike through Canada to get to Alaska. But that's another one of those places where you just, I don't know anybody who's been to Alaska and was like, oh yeah, it was all right. You go and you're just it was so amazing. And to be able to experience the people of this country and the different cultures and traditions, even within these United States, I think would be really amazing. And plus, I want to get an RV with one of those magnetic maps on the side. And after you go to the state, you get to put that magnet on. And then, so don't touch my magnets if you see my RV in a parking lot someplace. Okay, because I'll forget. Did I go to Kansas? Did I not? I'm not so sure.
With travel, I was reading about this thing called the Paris syndrome recently. And now it's really kind of sad, but the Paris syndrome is this thing that happens when people have expectations of Paris, specifically the city of Paris.
Right.
Because it's so associated with romance and history and this just beauty and art. And when they get there, it doesn't meet the expectation.
It's like a city.
Yeah, there's a city. And there's a lot of, folks say there's air pollution and other kinds of things. Paris syndrome, and it's kind of sad because it actually physically affects people. It's a classified thing because it's such a strong reaction they have to their expectations not meeting reality. That's why the place I picked, I don't think I'd be disappointed by, because I've always imagined Ireland to be somewhere where you just feel kind of lost in an older time and things are slower and the way of life is simpler. And from the family I know who has traveled there, they say, yeah, it's pretty much exactly it. That's what Ireland is. I think that's so cool. I have, like so many Americans, family history that does trace back to Ireland. And I would just love to find myself losing track of time, walking, rambling as it would be called there, along green countrysides and stopping in at a tea house and getting some good strong black Irish tea and just enjoying this beautiful part of creation that, from what I'm told and what I hear, yes, is true. It's just like a slower, simpler kind of thing.
Well, Tim, you might be going to Ireland on your Where Would I Go? Terese, you'll be going all over the place, but I'll still be at the place with the best hot dogs.
Irish hot dogs are not known internationally.
Yeah, right, with those baseball stadiums.
I think they call them blood sausages, and for reasons you don't want to know.
You know what's interesting? That we all touched on in where we want to go. We would enjoy just the countryside, the creation that God has made, no matter where it is, whether it's in the United States, whether it's down the street from you, whether it's another country. It's like God's made an amazing world. And just to be able to relax, Tim, you use the word slower pace. I use the thing just train so you can relax. Terese, just driving the RV with your magnets.
Magnets.
But anyway, isn't it amazing that I think we would come back going like, wow, God's amazing. Look what he's made all over the place.
Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
I've never been faced with this because I've never owned a leather sofa. I've never owned a leather. I know a lot of people have. To me, they get a little bit too warm in the summer and sticky and
agreed.
That kind of thing. So I don't do that. However, a lot of people have leather sofas. And what a great idea, because we're to be good stewards of everything that we have and don't waste anything.
Sure.
A lady has come up with this wonderful idea, as she calls them. She doesn't call them used leather sofas. She calls them pre-loved. How about that?
Okay.
Pre-loved leather sofas. People donate them to her. She takes the leather and makes purses out of them.
Oh, cool.
For ladies.
That's so cool.
That's a great idea. Plus, you have a head start. It's a purse. You can use all the loose change you find in the cushions. Isn't that a great idea?
Coffee? Check. Music? Check. Fun and encouragement? Check and check. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
People.
Boy, if it weren't for people, huh?
Do you ever wonder why you have so much trouble getting along with people? And I don't say some people, because you might go, well, there's some people. But the reality is that every person, if you really encounter them at some point, you're going to have conflict with them, right?
Sure.
I mean, even people you really like. Why is that? I was just reading something that Paul David Tripp wrote, and the answer is sin. Sin robs you of your inner peace and contentment and puts you at war with other human beings. That's not something. You ever feel like you're at war with someone else? And then he goes on to say, sin is not a matter of bad behavior. It's a condition of the heart. And that's why you can't free yourself from it. And that's why you need Jesus. See, you can't have true peace with another person until you know Jesus. People. Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't hit the snooze button. Come join us. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
Who names breakfast cereals? I don't know if people are really this great at this job, because I love the cereal, I do, but it's like either the name is painfully literal, right on the nose. Honey Bunches of Oats, let's say. They are bunches of oats held together by honey. This is a very creative name. Or total opposite end of the spectrum, grape nuts. Notably, nothing of grape flavor and contains absolutely zero nuts.
True.
I thought, all right, well, maybe I'll take a little spin at this. I won't try to name a cereal. No, clearly people aren't good enough at that. I thought I would let a computer name some breakfast cereals for me. So I went online, put into a randomized name generator for some breakfast cereal names. And, well, after reading Double Crunch Wheats, Circus Clusters, Banana Rocks, I thought, Yeah, actually, you know what? People aren't that bad at naming cereals after all. They just have weird names. I think I'd much rather eat a bowl of honey bunches of oats than banana rocks, please.
If you're looking for fun, hope, and encouragement, you've come to the right place. This is Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
New Mexico can't be the only state with an official state aroma.
Oh, of course
they
not.
are so far. They did green chilies roasting in the fall. But we thought New York and Pennsylvania in our area, we need to come up because no other state besides New Mexico has a state aroma. So we asked you, what would be your vote? Don from Belfast says maple syrup.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Carol from Clifton Springs says the smell of campfire or freshly cut grass. Oh, how about this one from New York?
Oh, let's
Cheerios.
Oh, like Buffalo, General Mills.
Yes,
yes, definitely.
Yes, that is a good one.
That's a real one.
For Pennsylvania, the sweet smell of skunk. Okay, we have a couple of votes for that one.
For skunk?
Yeah. Oh, well.
Relatable. It is relatable. I mean,
yeah, it really is. For Pennsylvania, Lois from Corsica says Hershey chocolate smell.
Oh, of course.
Yes, that's perfect.
These are good.
Oh, Jeremy from West Clarksville, boiling maple syrup. Ooh,
yes, definitely.
That's good. And yeah, maple gets a lot of votes, and so does the Hershey's chocolate gets a lot of votes. So anyway, Tim, have you given this some thought for
definitely.
state aroma?
Yeah, since moving back to the area around where I grew up in New York, and especially if you take any drives in the fall time in the Finger Lakes region, you notice the smell of grapes so strong in the vineyards area and everything. It's really unlike anything else. That's what would be my vote for New York. Grapes.
Mine. When I moved here about a dozen years ago, I was a sort of a city suburban kid. I'd never been in the country, and all of a sudden I lived right next to a dairy farm, and certain times of the year has a certain aroma as you're driving through, which I'd never smelled before, and so there you go. That was I liked your grapes wine better. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Hey, good morning. It's Rise Up on Family Life. Who's this?
Good morning. My name's Earl. I live in Campbell, New York.
Okay, what is the aroma for New York?
How about baked apple pie?
Oh, baked apple pie. Could anything be better? Well, we got the New York apples we're so proud of. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Something else to tell you guys. I'm driving an 18-wheeler when I'm driving down the road, and I just listened to I could only imagine. I lifted my right hand up in the air.
Yes.
To God be the glory. Have a great day.
Reminding you that God is in charge today and every day. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.